PC エンジン512色スーパービジュアル6チャンネルリアルサウンドニューワールドを制覇する PC エンジン全開 NEC から。
Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Episode. Today we're going to be doing series the PC Engine Playhouse, where I take a look at some of my favorite PC Engine games of all time, both on the HuCard side and the CD-ROM side. And today we're playing Spriggan. I believe that's how it's pronounced, but you know I am terrible at pronunciations. It has a longer title, but that's what I'm going with on this one. This is another absolutely classic shmup on the PC Engine from Compile, and it has a lot to do with Musha on the Sega Genesis with a completely different theming. This is just another one of those games, and I want a challenging shmup to sit down and play on my PC Engine. This is going to come out of my collection, pop into my Duo R or briefcase unit, and I'm going to have an absolutely fun time with it. But this game can be brutally hard. It is not for the faint of heart. If you're not familiar with the shmup genre, I definitely think you might want to start somewhere different. It's not the hardest game I've ever played, but it definitely doesn't hold your hand. Before I get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But from start to finish, this game is intense. It never lets up. It continues to get harder. It is going to test you at every single juncture. What I really like about this game, and it does something completely different than most other shmups, is the power-up mechanic system. You're going to be seeing, I'm going to be getting these different color orbs the entire game, which are not just going to change my shot, they can also be used as bombs. You can throw one out to change your weapon, and if you see one flashing on screen, that's going to be a screen clearing bomb that's going to eliminate every enemy on screen. But as we get to the first boss here, this gigantic mechanical skull with these hands coming out of the clouds, you can just envision the body below the clouds being absolutely massive. A little bit of a Super Mario 64 vibe with the boss with the eyes in his hands, but of course this game came out much earlier. As we move on to the second stage, this gigantic flying castle, it is just so much fun to see what this game is doing theming wise. You have all of these different turbines getting the castle lift, you have all of this green electricity and lightning going on underneath you, and you have these tiny little dudes running around coming out of the castle turrets. Every single pixel on this game is just chock full of detail, all running at 240p. It's incredible what they can do with such a low resolution, and it just works in the world of this game. It is an incredible shmup that's got great music, great gameplay, and the theming is just so much fun. And big credit to Compile as well for making sure every single bullet is visible. They are bright, sometimes they flash. If you get hit by a bullet in this game, it's because you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and not because the bullet was blending into the background. But these gigantic gun turrets as well here are just so much fun to see in action. The sprite work, the background layers, everything in this game just makes it feel like such a great experience. And this is not even considered to be one of the best shmups on the PC Engine. It is just one of my favorites. But leave me a comment down below and tell me what your favorite PC Engine shmup is. If you can't tell already, this series is going to be heavy with shmups because the PC Engine and TurboGrafx had some of the best library entries as far as the genre is concerned. But I love how quick the screen scrolls in the background as well. Sometimes this game feels like it's just going Mach 5 and you're absolutely flying into the screen. And you'll see there that was one of these screen clearing bombs that you're able to get when the orbs are flashing. And I love this game for changing up the speed as well. You have so many projectiles coming at you at once, you have all of these different characters on screen, and it maintains the performance basically the entire way through, which is always impressive. I've never seen really any slowdown in this game whatsoever. As we get to this water area, the screen will start slowing down a little bit, and it gives you a completely different sensation of gameplay. That's what I love about this title as well. It doesn't ever give you a chance to breathe, but it does change up so many different things. Now we're going up a waterfall and we're shooting these mechanical half-robotic piranhas just jumping out of the water. It's so much fun to see in motion, and every single screen is going to show you something new, which I absolutely love. Every level is differently themed, there's different enemies, different graphics, and you're always waiting to see what comes next, so long as you have enough credits and lives to be able to get there. And there is a free 10 life cheat code as well if you hit pause, so Google that if you're trying to get a little further in the game. But I will also say this has an incredible Redbook audio soundtrack, so go ahead and listen for like 45 seconds and I'll come back and tell you more about the history of the game and why it was made. But enjoy. Just such a good soundtrack, and it totally fits the theming of this game. But of course we have to get spiders, my least favorite insect of all time, but here they don't creep me out too much, and shooting them definitely makes me feel just that much better. I just don't like spiders, that's how it works. But this game was developed for the Summer Carnival, which is basically a yearly shmup fest, and there's a lot of different interesting games that have come out of that event back in the day. And this is basically pseudo part of the Aleste series from Compile, and originally it was supposed to be developed for the Sega Genesis before it moved over to the PC Engine, and it just works here on the PC Engine graphically, mechanically, from start to finish. It is just such a great looking game, but as you get further in, it's definitely going to give you more difficulty. If you touch any of these walls right here, you are going to die. So they start putting choke points and kill zones in here where you're going to be getting shot at from every single direction, and you no longer have the full screen space to actually navigate. Sometimes I absolutely love it, sometimes I absolutely hate it, but here it 100% works. It ups the challenge, reduces the bullets, and makes it more about navigating and shooting intelligently than it does being able to have the entire screen open to you at once. It is a fun sort of vibe. But as we move further on, I love this pseudo mechanical nature as well. You have all of this lava, or what might be rivers of blood, underneath the level, and if you shoot any of these mechanical tanks the lids off, they're going to explode fire onto the screen, and they're going to be more of a risk to you. So you do need to realize in this game, sometimes you don't actually want to shoot everything. You see here as those lids come off, the fire comes out, and if you are too close, you're going to die. And it is at this stage where the game becomes exceedingly difficult. It's probably been a year or two since I played this the last time, so I am not as good as I possibly could be, and I'm always wondering what's floating upriver there. It looks like it's supposed to be some sort of machine, but it kind of also looks like a ribeye steak floating in the lava. So leave me a comment down below and tell me, is that just a floating ribeye, or am I crazy? Maybe it's a strip steak actually based on the shape. But all steak jokes aside, this game is intense. If you're looking for an absolute challenge that is not a bullet hell shmup, pick this one up, give it a try. It is going to test you at pretty much every junction, and you only get a limited amount of credits, and you can only use that extra 10 life code once per credit. So even with all of that, it might take you 4, 5, 6 playthroughs to actually get to the end of this game. But this boss tank here shooting at all of these rockets at us is absolutely massive. The PC Engine could get some huge sprites on screen and always run at a good frame rate as well, and I think this is something that maybe the Sega Genesis couldn't even keep up with. And that's how good the PC Engine hardware was, especially on the CD-ROM side, and that's how much above its weight the PC Engine could punch graphically as well as performance-wise. And this boss battle is just so much fun. You can absolutely read the pattern, get better at it, and understand what you need to avoid. This game's always teaching you what you need to do, and if you actually pay attention and listen to what the game's telling you, you're going to get really good at it really quickly. And that sense of satisfaction of learning is just going to ramp itself back up. But one more taste of the soundtrack. This one is an absolute classic. 30 seconds and I'll be back and tell you a little bit more about the game. But enjoy. Just such a great fantasy vibe to the soundtrack, and when you go through these choke points here as well, it just 100% works in the gameplay aspect. I've either already done a video on Sapphire, or I'm going to be doing one soon, and that has the same concept where it actually narrows down where you can go, but in that game the perspective can be very confusing and you end up taking unnecessary deaths. Here in Spriggan, it just 100% works. If you die, it's because you weren't paying attention, and I love these lizard men crawling up the wall as well, shooting at you. There's so many different enemy sprites in each area of the game. There's always going to be something for you to see, do, and enjoy, and I love these mimic chests as well. The game wants to troll you one last time as you get towards the end, and the power-up chest you've been shooting for these orbs will suddenly turn into enemies that can 100% kill your ship. but this is just a classic game, and I love the theming as well because it's not the sci-fi shmup. Not that there's anything wrong with that subgenre, I do really enjoy it, but these fantasy experiences just 100% work for me as well. I can't get enough of them. So for any reason you've never played this game before, definitely do yourself the favor and check it out. And if you have, tell me down below what you think of it, because I love hearing your guys' opinions as well. But I'll be back next week with an entry in the PC Engine Playhouse. I'll have videos throughout the week on totally different topics, but this game to me is just a 10 out of 10, and if you've never played it, you owe it yourself to do so. Bye bye.